Hello everyone, and welcome to another horror news update. Now, if you remember last week, I had a good 15 or 20 articles to talk about in the horror universe, and the video ended up being a little under 25 minutes long. I had a lot of stuff to talk about. Well, it seems that within the past week since last Tuesday, the horror universe has calmed down a little bit, and not much is going on under the radar. Just not a lot going on. But I have a good 5 articles today to talk about, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? Going on in the horror universe today, first up on the menu is a film called Dracula 3D. Dario Argento is the director. Now, if you remember, a few weeks ago I actually talked about this, and I was pretty stoked to see it because Rutger Hauer is in it. You know, Rutger Hauer played in Hobo with a Shotgun as the hobo. Well, plays Van Helsing in the film. Well, I was pretty stoked to see it, and so I watched the trailer. After watching the trailer, I was a little displeased with what I saw. Looks very low-budget shot. Not that I have a problem with low-budget films, because I don't. I love the whole low-budget horror genre. But this film looks kind of cheaply made. It doesn't look very good at all. You know, I like Dario. You know, he did, Suspiria in '77. Then he did, in the '90s, he did Phantom of the Opera. And I think he's a pretty good filmmaker. But it seems that with Dracula 3D, it seems that he's took a turn for the worst. And maybe he should just stop while he's ahead. Anyways, if you guys are curious, I will put the link to the description below so you guys can check out the trailer. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys curious to see Dracula 3D? Apparently the entire film is shot in a stereoscopic 3D, similar to what the new Piranha 3 Double D is shot in. They're both shot entirely in 3D. So anyways, the 3D in Dracula, though, will probably be pretty cheap. Piranha 3D should be pretty good, but Dracula's, on the other hand, is going to be pretty cheap. Anyways, if you're curious, go ahead and check that thing out, and let me know what you guys think. As for me, I watched the trailer, nothing too special about it. If you remember Stephen King, everyone knows Stephen King. It's been a long time since he's had a big movie that has been theatrically released. I believe, some of the last ones were, 1408. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was his last one. Well, it seems that another movie of his is going to be coming out adapted from one of his books, and the book was called The Reach. And I'm not too for sure what the book was about because I haven't read it, but supposedly it's about something about an old lady who wants to cross a river, and it's been like several years since she's crossed this river. I believe the book is kind of a paranormal kind of thing. Anyways, Stephen King is coming back to the big screen for his new movie called The Reach. So it's kind of cool to see Stephen King come back. Apparently the book was a short story. So hopefully it'll be pretty cool. I'm sure it will be. I like a lot of Stephen King stuff. He did Dreamcatcher. He does just all kinds of stuff. Secret Window. He does loads of movies. Storm of the Century. The Stand. All kinds of cool stuff. So I can't wait to see The Reach, and I can't wait to see what Stephen King has on his plate. Other Stephen King news. Several years ago, more than 20 years ago, Stephen King wrote a phenomenal book. I haven't read it, but I know it's good. It has to be. A book called The Shining. We all know the story of The Shining. Well, now it seems that several years later, he is going to make a sequel to The Shining. A sequel to the book, not the movie. It might be adapted to a movie years from now, but as for right now, it's just a book. And the book's going to be called Dr. Sleep. And as I said, it's a sequel to The Shining, released several years ago. It seems that the story takes place, I don't know too much about it because I didn't read into the plot because I haven't seen the original film. But it takes place, I think, like 6 years after the events. The little boy, I believe, is about 12 years old now. And it seems that it's a lot different from The Shining. And that, apparently, according to the article, any Stephen King fan would love the book. Apparently, it's supposed to be really cool. So go ahead and check that thing out. The book, I believe, is supposed to come out January 12th or 13th of 2013. So if you're into Stephen King, go ahead and check out his new book coming out next year. Other news. If everyone remembers, Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie, great director. Devil's Rejects, the remake of Halloween 1 and 2, House of a Thousand Corpses was okay, but I do love his Halloween films. Now, he hasn't done a film in a few years. His last original concept was actually back, I believe, in '06 or '07 when he did Devil's Rejects. Well, now he's back, with another original concept called The Lords of Salem. And if you remember my last few videos, I've been talking a lot about this. Well, now there is a sneak peek, not a trailer of it, but there is a sneak peek of the video up. It seems that at a lot of his, he's back on tour now, and it seems that at a lot of his live concerts, he's been having a little sneak peek, about a 45-second clip that plays before his show, and then he would, play his music. Now, the trailer isn't much. It's not even a trailer, really. It's a bunch of just kind of random scenes from the movie. So, maybe something you guys might want to check out. I think it would be a pretty good potential film. If you don't know what it's about, apparently it's about, witches, in the town. And apparently they come back to get revenge, and people are taking witches out, that kind of thing. They receive some box, and apparently it's a gift from the lords, and it kind of goes down those kind of horror tropes. Anyways, that clip will also be in the description. As always, all links are in the description. Check it out if you guys want. The last thing on the menu today, like I said, not too many things going on in the horror universe, is if you guys remember the film Contagion. Now, I never saw Contagion, but it did pretty good. I believe it made about $135 million worldwide in the process, so it did pretty good. There is actually a sequel to Contagion called Contagion 2, and the sequel to Contagion is now in the works. Warner Brothers will be doing the sequel. It seems Scott Z. Burns, who actually wrote the screenplay for the original, will now be producing the sequel. We do not know, though, if Steven Soderbergh will return to direct the film. So, might be something you guys might want to check out. A lot of people said, a sequel to Contagion is kind of pointless. I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it. But if you liked the first one, maybe want to check out Contagion 2. That's really all the news going on in the horror universe. Not too much, but there is a little bit going on. So if you remember last week, I talked to everyone about the latest DVDs coming out this week. Well, it's May 15th, and as always, I have my little bulletin here, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the films coming out this week, whether it's horror or whether it's not horror. Let's see what we have here. May 15th is the date, and it seems that today, Liam Neeson starring in The Grey comes out. Now, I saw The Grey in theaters. I thought The Grey was a cool film. It's about this plane that crashes, and there's 7 or 8 survivors, and they're trying to survive out in this blizzard, out in the snow, away from wolves. It's kind of a cool survival kind of film. Very cool. I liked it a lot. I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. The Grey is very cool. Another pretty cool film is the found footage film called Chronicle. It came out today. Kind of a superhero found footage film about these 3 kids that get powers, and one of them ends up using their powers in the wrong way for evil. So Chronicle is definitely something you guys should check out. I liked it a lot. Also saw that in theaters. Another film, don't know anything about, but apparently it's probably a comedy romance called One for the Money. Might be something you guys want to check out. Another film that I liked a lot that critically did horrible is a horror exorcism film called The Devil Inside. Now, I loved this film. This was a very cool film. A lot of people hated the ending. But I thought Devil Inside was a very cool film. You guys ought to check it out. Definitely check that one out. As for other films, we have Rampart, starring Woody Harrelson. And that's about it. So we have The Grey, Chronicle, One for the Money, Devil Inside, and Rampart. 5 films that you guys should definitely check out. They all came out on DVD and Blu-ray today. So maybe you want to go to Amazon and Walmart and pick up your own copy. As for next week we have This Means War, The Woman in Black, Red Tails, and The Secret World of Arrietty are coming out on May 22nd. And May 29th, we have Man on a Ledge, Gone, Goon, Season 4 of True Blood, and we need to talk about Kevin. So those are the main films that are coming out within the next few weeks. Also coming out May 22nd, I'm stoked for it. I'm going to pre-order it here pretty soon, actually, is the first season of Warren Pelly's TV series called The River. Just finished watching it, might review it soon. That series is straight up, oh my god, awesome. I loved it. Really cool series. That comes out on DVD May 22nd, so I can't wait for that. Anyways, that's it for the horror universe. Not too much going on. Maybe there'll be more going on next week. As always, links are in the description. Make sure to check those puppies out and see what's going on in the horror universe. If you guys don't know, I now have a Tumblr where I will be doing a weekly horror movie review. I'll have a quote on there. Videos will be on there. Reviews, DVDs, all kinds of cool horror stuff on there. So check out my Tumblr. Link will be in the description below. Make sure to follow me, guys, if you guys like it. Anyways, that's my horror news update. Like, comment, subscribe to the page, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday with another horror news update.